Okay, I absolutely love solo travel. Okay, love it. I will most likely always be an advocate for it in one way or another. However, there are a few things that I feel like the solo travel girlies don't tell us. And I feel like there are a few things we need to be honest about in terms of the downsides of solo travel. Okay, so come on in, get comfy, take your shoes off. Drinks are in the fridge, bathrooms down the hall. Welcome to our little cozy corner of the internet. Let's get real for a second. Oh, okay. So there are a few things that I've taken note of uh, during this trip, but just in general, even as I plan my next trip. And the first is the level of hypervigilance that you have to have as a solo traveling woman specifically can be really taxing. Like really, really taxing. It's a lot on your mental health sometimes when you're the only one that is responsible for your safety, like there is nobody checking your six. So you almost like it's like you always have to be on. There are definitely times when you can kind of let your hair down a little bit, but you always have to be aware of your surroundings. You always have to make sure that you're making calculated decisions. Like, again, of course, there are times when you can be a little more willy nilly with it, but generally speaking, you have to. Hola, hola. I don't know which video is gonna come out first, but there's this one worker at the hotel that brought me my mousse earlier, and I was also recording when I ordered my dessert, and now he's walking by and I'm recording again. Sometimes I wonder what people think as I'm recording, but whatever. Um, yeah, and you always have to think about, okay, if I go here at this time, what do I need to be aware of? If I do this, that, and the other, who might I need to be aware of? It's just, it can be a lot. It can be a lot because it's always on you. The other part is financially. There is a solo traveler tax that is added to a lot of things. So, for example, there are certain like excursions that will charge you more, or even hotels. Let's actually talk about hotels because my trip in May, part of it had to be like scrapped because I was supposed to be going to Qatar. Y'all know what's happening in that region of the world right now, so had to scrap that part of the trip. And so I was considering either going to South Africa instead or Namibia instead. And I was looking at the hotel prices for Namibia, and they charge you more if you are a single person versus if you're going as two or more people. So, for example, if the room is $200 for two people, it's like 150 for one person. Like they don't just say, "Oh, 100 for one person, 200 for two people." So you end up paying more going by yourself than you would if you were going with two people. Like, I don't understand why they would charge you more. If the room is 200, cool, just charge me a flat 200, but don't charge me more. You know what I mean? Or even worse, what I've seen them do is like it's 200 for two people and 230 for one person. Hello? What it I child, I don't get it. There's a single supplement that they will add to things, and to a degree I get it. Like if you are a tour operator, if you're a tour operator, then I kind of understand needing to make a minimum amount of money per night in order for it to make sense for you to go somewhere. But as a single person, that doesn't make me feel better. That just makes me more broke. Yeah. It adds up fast. And if nobody tells you, you're not anticipating the extra money that you're going to have to spend. So that's very annoying. The other thing is, even if you are one person and you like, even if you are one person, you're willing to pay it, some places just won't do it for one person. Like tours just will not run. And there were, like, for instance, the night walk tour, they wouldn't allow me to just book for one person. I had to book for two people. So it's not even that they were charging me more as a single person. They just wouldn't let me book. Like it was I think $60 per person for like a 3-4 hour tour at night where you could see, the literally it'd be like a hike through the jungle in the evening. So you could see all the like nocturnal animals, the frogs and the snakes and the mammals that come out at night, and just right, just the nocturnal animals. And you had to book for a minimum of two people, which means for just me, I would have been paying like 120, $130 just for me. It's stuff like that and it can be with so many things. Again, I get it from an operator's point of view, right? I understand. If you're spending the time to walk, drive, bike, Uber, whatever, as an operator to the place, you're using your resources, you're using your gas, you want to make a minimum amount of money. But again, as a single person, not great. The other part is that there's a cost a lot of times for safety and for security. And sometimes, if you want to be like, if you want to err on the side of caution, the cheaper option isn't really an option. So, for example, for my trip, for my like shuttle from San Jose down here to Puerto Viejo, there are a couple of options. You can do like a private taxi, which can be like $200-300. There's a shared shuttle, which is like between $60 and $70, and then there's like a local bus that's like $10 to $20 per person, right? And if I wanted to do this trip as cheaply as possible, I would have to take the public bus. The issue with the public bus is that you generally have to be more vigilant when it comes to your belongings, because there are more people on the bus. There are people, walking back and forth, stretching their legs, blah, 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 blah. And I read online, like, generally it's very safe. But if you fall asleep, there might be somebody reaching up to like rifle through your bag in like the overhead bin or whatever, right? So as a single person, it's not like I can say, "Hey, I'm going to sleep for an hour," and then my travel buddy, you sleep for an hour, and we'll just go back and forth to make sure that nobody messes with our stuff. So, I mean, I kind of preferred the other option anyway, so I went with a shared shuttle. But the like public bus almost wasn't an option for me because I'm by myself. And that's annoying. Or even if you want to do something like a hostel, right? And I get a lot of people stay in hostels and they're just fine. But for me, it's safer for me to just be in a regular hotel than, I mean, I guess people have different feelings about that, but it's, in my opinion, safer to be in a regular hotel room by myself than, again, sharing a room where there might be up to 10, 9, 10 other people in the room. And there's one of the guys working here. His name is Alexis. I see him milling around too. That's funny. Um, yeah, like there might be other people in the room, especially if it's like a mixed dorm. Ugh. But anyway, just saying that, like, in order for you to be safe, in order for your things to be secure, there's sorry, scrolling through my notes. There are just sometimes you have to pay more for the safety and security, which can be annoying to say the least. Okay. The next thing is that there is no one to lean on in certain moments. So, like you're traveling with somebody and one of y'all needs to use the bathroom and you have your luggage with you and you say, "Hey, watch my bags for 2 minutes while I use the bathroom." can't do that on my own. So I end up rolling all my bags into an itty bitty bathroom stall. Or, or, you know what else is funny? Like, even leaving your drink, they're like a pair of birds that flew by. Even if you leave your drink for 30 seconds, for instance, to go to the bathroom, like when you get back, you just have to buy a new drink because who knows? Again, safety. Trying to be safe. You have to, like, you can't. There's just no one to lean on in those moments. And like, yeah, it's relatively small, but all this stuff kind of adds up. It's like little logistical moments. Either you have to trust a stranger or you have to do something super inconvenient. Nobody talks about that. Okay. Okay. This one, it's a little. Oh, they have plugs out here. I love this hotel so much, y'all. I love this hotel so much. I'm gonna give you guys like a full 360 once I'm done recording the video. So stay to the end if you want to see like what the hotel looks like because it is absolutely beautiful. But anywho, um, there are people in your life who love you dearly. Okay, they love you dearly, and the- they will stress you out about traveling solo. And I know I've talked about this before, but my one of my biggest annoyances about telling people I love that I'm going somewhere by myself is always like the first couple questions. Oh, you're going here? Who you going with? Please don't tell me you're going alone. Yep, going alone. And there is something about them Googling every article, every negative thing that has happened. Every negative thing that has happened in this country for the last like 15, 20 years. You just get random articles sent to you about some traveler, who spent 3 weeks in the jungle hiking and they found their dismembered head somewhere. Or some lady came back lame, maimed, and one eyed after her whirlwind trip through Costa Rica. Like it, they mean well. I know they mean well. However, chill out. Like, and it's one of those things where, especially if you're somebody who's already like scary and like anxious about going places. Thankfully, at this point, I'm not as worried. My first few solo trips, oh, I was terrified because of all the negative things I had heard. But if you're somebody who's still nervous about solo traveling, which is understandable, it does not make it any easier when the people around you are telling you that you're gonna die and be attacked and be like, you know, not everyone wants to be talked out of a decision that they make. It's one of those things you have to smile, say thank you, and then do what you want. And then just go on the trip. Oh, okay. The next thing is there will be people who will tell you that it is the most selfish thing in the world for you to want to go on a trip solo. Mind you, I can almost understand if like I was married, if I had kids, if I had dependent family members, if I was a caretaker, anything like that. I'm sorry. I thought what that but that but boo boo bop beep bop. Okay. I thought that is not me farting. That's the mattress. Can y'all? Okay. I hope the like mic picked it up so I wasn't just rocking awkwardly for no reason. But anyway, I thought there was a sloth in the tree. It's not. It's like the other side of this thingy thing. But anywho, um, yeah, you will be made to feel so selfish about wanting to go somewhere on your own. And I think it's even worse for people who like either come from big families or people whose parents are like guardians came from big families. There is something about being in a big family where it's like anything you want to do alone is a sin. Anytime you want to do something just for yourself, even if you give every penny you have to your family, even if you spend every waking moment caring for someone else, you want to go on a trip by yourself? How so? You don't want to share these memories with anyone? It's horrifying, apparently. Y'all, I don't oh, I don't get it. Okay. Then there's an aspect of this that is you, because like just by the nature of you being alone, just by the fact that you don't necessarily have the distraction or crutch of another person to converse with. Now, of course, there's your phone, there's books, there's whatever, but there will still be plenty of times where you might not be distracting yourself with something. And because you don't have a person to distract you with, it forces you to be in your own head. And I will say, like, there's an aspect of this that's not a bug, it's a feature, okay? Because more of us really should be spending alone time to ourselves to like think and meditate. Like, there are actually studies shown that it's good to be bored. In the times that you are bored, there's a lot of psychological and emotional development being made because you're thinking deeply about yourself, you're thinking about the world, etc., etc. And I think that's part of the reason that we see people who have maybe a little less critical thinking, a little less self-awareness. I won't go too deep into that, but just in general, right? There's a, a decline in certain psychological cognitive functions. I'm gonna leave that there. All right. Second to last one. I'm almost done. I'm almost done yapping, y'all. There are there are people. Sometimes it's locals. I think it depends on where you are. Sometimes it's locals, sometimes it's other travelers. And I have even had it insinuated by people who know me personally that the reason that people travel solo is for sex tourism. Now, I think it's especially baffling to me for people who like know me personally, but it's is it more surprising or less surprising that locals think it? I feel like if locals think it, there might be some precedent there, especially depending on the country. And I don't think it happens nearly as much with women. If it's like an old German guy going to Bangkok, okay, all right, I kind of understand the assumption, okay, but for a 30-year-old black woman, what are you expecting me to be doing here in Costa Rica? you know and that's not to say that like the men here aren't attractive. It's not to say that like I'm not a normal human adult woman, but the assumption is crazy. Like, I've heard from other female travelers that sometimes when, for instance, they stay in a hostel and they're at some of the socializing events and that sort of thing that happen, that there will be male travelers in the hostels who are like, "Oh, you're alone." Ooh. Ooh. It's not funny, but it is funny. And that just like insinuation, like, "Oh, you're here alone." You know? I don't know. I don't get it. It's yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that one there too. And one last one. is I'm at the point where I now tell the people that I'm going to tell when I'm going on a trip at the very last minute, because I don't want the, oh, I have a couple days off, I'll go with you. Hold hold it. Hey, hold it. Hold your horses, Shannon. I don't, do I know anyone named Shannon? It doesn't matter. There's it's like, oh, suddenly you have vacation days available. Suddenly you have airline points that you want to use. Suddenly you've always wanted to go to insert name of city, insert name of country. And it's like there are certain people that don't understand the concept of wanting to go by yourself, and it's like a choice. Like, I am doing this because I want to be alone, not I'm doing this because I can't find anyone to go with. And granted, there are absolutely times when you can't find someone to go with. That's part of the reason that I started solo traveling myself, was because it can be difficult to find really good travel partners that are safe, that have enough travel experience, like a similar level of travel experience. People who, um, won't put you in dangerous situations. People who have the same budget and travel style and want to go the same places and have the same amount of time off and the same level of flexibility. Like it, it's a lot. And that's why traveling has a not a stigma, a reputation for splitting up friends. Like best friends who have been friends for 5, 10, 15 years, they travel together and then they come back not as friends. Like, that's a huge thing. I feel like, especially for women, maybe I'm not in male spaces like that, so I don't know if the same thing happens for men, but especially for women, it can be really difficult. And like, I don't want to lose my friends. I've had great trips with friends, but also there are some people I know for a fact I can't travel with. So it is what it is. But getting back to the point, like, there are people who just can't comprehend you wanting to enjoy a place by yourself. Like, it's happened several times where I've told somebody, hey, I'm going to XYZ destination alone, or I want to go to XYZ place alone. And they're baffled because it's like, I can't imagine enjoying myself and not having someone to, hello, and not having someone to share this experience with. And I don't know. I just, don't get me wrong, there are definitely times when I feel that, but there are plenty of times when I just want to enjoy the place without the, I don't know, the without it being filtered through someone else's view of it as well. I guess, I don't know how to word that. The words weren't coming to me as smoothly as I would have preferred, but anywho. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not telling you not to go. I'm telling you to go knowing what might await you when you start telling people that, like, hey, I'm going certain places to travel, or traveling. So that, good gracious, Alexis, get your tongue together. When you tell certain people that you're going to be going somewhere solo, or when you get to the place solo, like, it's, I think if you look on social media, it will have you thinking that it's all freedom and wanderlust and chasing sunsets and hiking up to waterfalls and meeting, amazing groups of friends from all over the world. And it can be that, but it can also be mentally taxing. It can be exhausting, expensive. Oh, and it can also be lonely in some ways that kind of catch you off guard, even if you are someone who really enjoys the alone time, even if you made the decision, like even if you planned the trip as a solo traveler and it not just being a matter of circumstance. Um, yeah. So again, I am an advocate for solo travel. I think you should go do it, but just be aware of all the things that come with it. Oh, do they have a cat? Do they have a hotel cat? Hey, Meow Mix. That's a cute little Oreo colored cat. Okay. Um, yeah. So anywho, y'all. That's all for today. If you don't know, my name is Alexis. I post here on YouTube every single day about career stuff, breaking into tech, navigating big life decisions, traveling, solo traveling as a youngish black woman. Yeah. So anywho, if any of those things interest you, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Um, and join us over here in our cozy little corner of the internet. Yeah, that's it, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.